Hello everyone. I would like to introduce our group first. My members are Regis Twinanda, Fajar Naufal Hanif, and Dimas Jalu Windata. We are from the group 1. In today's presentation, we want to talk about general description of internal audit. We have divided this presentation into three parts. The first part will be presented by my friend Fajar Naufal Hanif. I will present the second part, and the last part will be presented by Dimas Jalu.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Fajar Naufal Hanif, student number 124. Today I'm going to be talking about general description of audit internal. Definition of audit internal. The definition of audit internal, according to Sukrishna Agus, he said, internal audit is an examination carried out by the company's internal audit department, both on the company's financial statement and accounting record, as well as adherence to predetermined top management policies and compliance with government regulation and provisions of the applicable profession. Government regulation, for example, regulation in the field of taxation, capital market, environment, banking, industry, investment, and others. And then internal audit purpose and role. The purpose and task of internal audit is to helping management members in alleviating their responsibilities with review activities, then with audit result provide conclusion and suggestion to manager, and then there are several roles performed by the internal auditor. The first is as a problem solver. Internal auditor must be able to use rational problem solving method. And then second, the role of negotiator and communicator. Perhaps the role of communicator will be more prominent than the negotiator. As communicator, auditor must be able to realize effective communication. And then basic of internal control. The definition of internal control structure, according to Mulyadi, he said that internal control includes an organization structure of method and procedure that are coordinated and implemented within the company with the aim of securing company property, checking the accuracy and reliability of accounting data, encouraging efficiency, and encouraging compliance with policy management that has been set before. And then internal control is defined into three categories. The first is the effectiveness and efficiency of company operation, and then second, reliable financial reporting, and then third is obedience with regulation and procedure. And then an internal control can be said to be effective if the three categories of company objective can be achieved. The first is director and management have an understanding of the direction of achieving company goals, including company targets, performance, level of profitability, and security of company resource. And then second, financial report published are reliable and can be trusted, including segment and interim report. And then third, the procedure and regulation that have been established by the company have been properly obeyed and followed. And then purpose of internal control. First is operation purpose. Internal control is intended to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of all companies' operation so as to control costs aimed at achieving organization goals. And then second, reporting purpose. Internal control is intended to improve the reliability of accounting data and record in the form of financial statement and management report. And then third, purpose of obedience. Internal control is intended to increase the entity's compliance with law and regulation that have been established by the government, related rulemakers, and the entity's own policies. And then element of internal control. Causa state that internal control consists of 5 integrated components. The first is control environment. The control environment is the foundation for all components of internal control that make up the discipline and structure. Based on the Causa formula, the control environment is defined as a set of standard, process, and structure that provide the basis for implementing internal control throughout the organization. There are 5 principles that must be upheld or implemented in the organization to support the control environment. The first is an organization consisting of a board of director, management, and other personnel demonstrates a commitment to integrity and ethical value. The second is the board of director demonstrates independence from management and in overseeing the development and performance of internal control. The third is management with the oversight of the board of director establish the structure report some of the factors forming the control environment. The first is integrity and ethical values, and then commitment to competence, and then board of director and audit commit, and then management philosophy and operating style, and then organizational structure, and then assignment of authority and responsibility, and then human resource policy and parties.
Risk assessment. The principle underpinning risk assessment under COSO are as follows. 1. The organization establishes objectives with sufficient clarity to allow identification and assessment to risks related to objectives. 2. The organization identifies risks through the assessment of entity-wide objectives and analyzes risk as a basis for determining how risk should be managed. 3. The organization considers the potential for fraud and in assessing the risk to achieving objectives. And 4. The organization identifies and assesses the significant change it can affect. Next, control activities. COSO emphasizes the principle in organizations that support control activities as follows. 1. The organization selects and develops in its control activities contribute toward mitigating the risk of achieving the target at the stage that is acceptable. 2. The organization selects and develops general control activities for technology to support the achieving of goals. 3. The organization spreads control activities through policies that define what is accepted and the procedure that put the policies into action. Monitoring activities. Monitoring activities according to COSO are evaluation activities in several forms, either continuous, separate, or a combination of the two that are used to ascertain whether each of the 5 components of internal control affect the function of each component, existence and function. Information and communication. There are 3 principles obtained or produces and uses information quality and relevant to support function internal control. 2. Organization communicate information internally, including internal control, objective and responsibilities in order to support the internal control function. And 3. The organization communicates with internal parties about various matters which affect the internal control function. Benefit and lack of internal control. First, I will explain about the advantages. 1. Internal control can help entity achieve performance and profitability target and prevent loss of resources. 2. Can help ensure reliable financing reporting. 3. Can help ensure that the company complies with regulation legislation. And 4. Avoiding reputation of other damage. Next, I will explain about deficiency. Internal control can ensure the success of the entity, that is, it will ensure the achievement of basic business objective or at least ensure the survival. Effective control can only help the entity achieve this objective, but internal control cannot turn a bad internal management into a good one. Internal control does not guarantee success or even survival. Elimination of internal control. The elimination inherent in every internal control are 1. Error in consideration, 2. Distraction, 3. Collusion, 4. Management neglect. 5. Cost versus benefit. Management needs. I will explain about definition of management. In general, the notion of management is an art in science and organization such as planning, building organization and organizing it, movement and controlling or supervising. The definition of management etymologically, the notion of management is an art to implement and organize. B. Management function. There are is planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling. 1. Planning. Planning is a systematic and orderly arrangement of steps to achieve company goals. 2. Actuating. Actuating is moving all group members to work together to achieve company goals. 3. Organizing. Organizing is an activity of distributing tasks to each resource in the company according to the capabilities of each resource. And 4. Controlling. Controlling is not just controlling the implementation of various activities carried out. Management relationship with internal audit. Several things that can be used to achieve the desired goals. 1. Internal audit must provide the basic necessities of protective audit service. 2. Internal audit must continue to be careful in maintaining its independence from actual operation responsibilities. 3. Auditors and management and other auditors should avoid the desire to abuse the power they have. 4. Internal audit focus on internal control. 5. There must be respect for every responsibilities one has managed for every result they get. The case of Enron and KAP Arthur Andersen. Market share. Enron Corporation was founded in 1985. Enron Corporation is an American energy company based in Houston, Texas, United States. Enron is the result of a merger between the Houston Natural Gas Company in Internorth, a pipeline company in Nebraska. At that time, Enron was led by Keenan Lay as CEO and was only in the gas pipeline industry. In an effort to expand the company business growth, Enron implemented diversification business strategy. Profile of KAP Arthur Andersen. KAP Arthur Andersen is an accounting service company based in Chicago, Illinois, United States. The company was founded by Arthur Andersen in 1930. The public accounting firm is included in the Big Five, along with PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and KPMG. Arthur Andersen became Enron external auditor and management consultant for a fee of $5 million in audit fees and $15 million in consulting fees. This has led to a conflict of interest in the body of Arthur Andersen himself, because the payment for his service was too large, resulting in a lack of independence in the process of auditing Enron's financial statement. As a result, in 2002, the company voluntarily gave up its license to practice as a public accounting.
Enron Corporation accounting scandal. In 1987, Enron owed 75% of the stock market value. In 2000, Enron announced that the company had net income after tax of $1.01 billion. Enron pledged its $62 million stake in the 3SBA. In July 2001, the share price fell to a value of 47. KAP Arthur Andersen involvement. KAP Arthur Andersen not only audit Enron financial statement, but also acts as a management consultant for Enron. The special purpose entity then insured a large amount of debt, with Enron serves as guarantor. The board of directors allowed end of the case of Enron and Andersen Arthur KAP. On December 2, 2001, Enron went bankrupt. On January 2, 2002, Enron